So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about whether or not it's worth going and doing a boot camp for a design course like UX design, product design, UI design. And yeah, this is going to be a freestyle. I'm not reading off any script or any notes. I'm just gonna let it come from the heart, so to speak. So the reason why I'm making this video is because I actually got somebody was supposed to call me about whether or not they wanted to take the course. My brother said that he had a friend who wanted to take the General Assembly course, and he basically wanted to pick my brain as to whether or not he should take the course. So I thought this would be a good video to make, because a lot of people are going to have that question. It's in a very expensive course. With everything going on in the world, with the pandemic, people losing their jobs, people being on furlough, the world is obviously changing a lot. There's going to be more digital jobs. People are going to be working from home a lot. It is something that has to be considered. Retraining, learning a new skill, and a boot camp is a way to do that. So I'm not going to babble on too much with this preamble. Let's get on to the reason why you clicked on the video. So is it worth it? Now, the answer obviously is it depends, because the truth is it is expensive. That is true. You need to ask yourself a couple questions. Is speed important? By which I mean, do you have to move into this new industry, or possibly new industry, new position, new job very quickly? And when I say very quickly, I'm saying 6 months or less. Or could you take 2 years? Would you be happy doing that? Because that's what these courses are designed to do. They're designed to take somebody who's, for example, going in one career trajectory and basically it's a clean break. You finish that, you quit that job, you do the course, it's about 10 weeks, and then straight away from there, you're applying for jobs, and there's generally a good chance you can get a job pretty quickly. At least when I took it 4 years ago. Oh, I probably should mention that I did take this course. I'm not just saying this from a theoretical point of view as to whether I think it's a good idea. I did take the General Assembly 10-week UX design immersive course. So that is something you need to basically factor in. How much time do you have? If you don't have time and you want to do it, you want to basically have a clean break and go into this new industry, this new job, a boot camp can be a good idea. And that's essentially what my position was. I wanted to move pretty quickly. But of course, if you want it done quickly, it's going to cost you money. And that's reflected in the prices of the course. Now, if you're just looking to get the information from whatever discipline it is, to be honest, it could be UX design, it could be the web development stuff. If it's just the information you want, I wouldn't do the course, because it's not worth it if you just want information. There's loads of different, with the internet now, there's loads of different places you can get that kind of information. There's like shorter online courses that, maybe like a designer who's gone through his whole career or her whole career and just like put out a course. You can do like a course like that. That might cost you maybe somewhere between $400 to maybe up to $1,000. But of course, with that, there is no networking, there is no alumni network, there is no events, there is no introduction to employers. These are all things that happen at General Assembly, which adds a lot of value, to be fair. But that's what I'm saying. If you just want the information, it's not worth it. You have to, and that's, I think, the point of the course. It really does force you, it's called immersive. It really does force you to jump in. You can't really do it half-hearted, that course. You really do have to commit to the whole thing. There's a lot of events that go around it. They give you access to different courses and within General Assembly. So it does add a bit of value, add a lot of value. Whether it's worth the money is always going to be up to the individual person. I mean, I think, let's be honest, a lot of people are moving towards that kind of UX design career and stuff like that because there are jobs that pay, it is a job that pays quite well. So I'm not sure what exactly the GA course fee is now. I know the last time I checked it was around £10,000. When I did it was about £7,000, which is about 4 years ago. So you can see the price is only going up because the demand is only going up. And, you know, I'm sure they're accepting basically at capacity. So they can obviously put the prices up. Another thing to bear in mind is if you can, and if you did want to do the course, look at who your instructor will be. That can, I mean, the course does have a very kind of set framework. So the course does have a very set framework. So to be honest, I think the instructor, not that it could be anyone, but it kind of could be anyone. Obviously the person who would give you the information, you know, the stuff they do in between the classes will kind of add a lot of value. So who that person is, it can be very important. Obviously the way they motivate you and that kind of thing. And obviously even the relationship you may have with them after the course. So that is something to consider. But as well with that, you don't really have much choice. So, you know, you do with that what you can. Some pitfalls to be aware of, I think. So I think the problem with General Assembly, or say a problem with General Assembly, is that, and I don't know if this has changed, but they will let not just anyone, of course, but I would say that probably the bar for the people they'll let in to do the course is quite low. And that's like no disrespect for anybody or anything like that. It's mainly that the point I'm trying to make is that everybody who comes to do the course can have like wildly different aptitudes and skills and that kind of thing. So essentially when you finish the course, the 10 weeks, I don't think that's enough for everyone, if that makes sense. You know, it's just like university. The idea that 3 years, in 3 years you can be this, you can be that, you can be that, you can be all these things, all these different things in different professions, different needs. You can do it all in 3 years. Like obviously that's not necessary. That's not true. So in 10 weeks, some people would have crushed it. They're ready to go. In 10 weeks, some people might need a little bit more help or a little bit more, you know, guidance and that kind of thing, which is fine. And I think essentially it can be a bit of a thing where you have to manage expectations. And just because one person did the GA course and in 10 weeks they went to this job, got paid this salary, doesn't mean everyone's going to. So that's from the student's point of view. But then from the employer's point of view, what can happen is that, and has happened, is that if they have an experience, maybe interviewing a GA grad who they didn't think was up to scratch, and then maybe it happens again when they interview somebody else and who they didn't think was up to scratch, they might feel, well, they might basically start stereotyping and thinking that, you know, GA students are this, GA students are that, which was happening a little bit. And that can be frustrating, of course, because you don't want to tar everybody with the same brush. People are at different levels, and you know, we're all basically just trying to change career. So it's not always a smooth road when you're changing career. So that can be a bit of an issue with, you know, reputation and that kind of thing, and you know, employers kind of tarring everybody with the same brush. But of course, that doesn't like last forever. And generally speaking, they do have quite a good like post-graduation employment rate. So I think that's, you know, a huge selling point. And look, in terms of my experience with the actual course, it was amazing. I think the course was like really good. We had a really good instructor. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really complain about the actual course. I think for me personally, it went super fast, maybe a bit too fast. But that's, you know, that's part of it. I mean, I think would it have helped me if the course was a bit longer? Probably, because I'm the kind of person who needs maybe a bit of time to think over things and just let the information crystallize. Because it wasn't really after it was after basically a few months post the course where I really started to, things really started to settle in my head and I started to understand things a bit more in terms of like UX and that kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I did get a job, a job in UX design after the course. So, you know, it definitely does and can work. And there's even like really amazing stories of people who like, you know, really accelerated up the career ladder after doing the course. So whether you should do it obviously is going to be your personal choice. But for sure, if you are focused, if you are motivated, you can make it, you can really make the most of it and have an amazing career doing UX. Now, if you don't have the money or you don't want to spend the money, all the information is out there in terms of UX and stuff. The only problem is it will just be a lot slower, your transition, because you won't have as much support and you won't be able to learn things in that condensed, intense period of time. So it really is a choice in terms of you spend the money, you get it quickly. You don't spend the money, you potentially get it slowly or very slowly. So that's, for me, I think that's really the choice. It's just a question of time. You know, I think there's nothing wrong with the course. So I can't tell people, at least my experience a few years ago, I can't tell people don't do the course because the course is this, the course is that. Because it's not true. The course is a really good course. It's just if this whether you want to pay or not, or whether you want to have that clean break or take your time. They do have a part-time course, which is less expensive. I don't have any experience with that, but you know, maybe that can be like a compromise for some people. And of course, there are other there are other product design courses like Experience House and stuff in London, but I don't want to, you know, this is not GA promo, obviously. It's just about my experience doing the design bootcamp. And yeah, I would recommend it if you have the money. Obviously, times are hard for everybody right now, but of course, it is an investment in yourself and for which there should be no price. Anyway, if you found that helpful, please give that a like. If I missed anything or you want to hear more or you want to know more about the course, just hit me up in the comments. I'll be happy to answer all your questions. And thanks for watching.